Hi everyone, it's Annette again from the Emerald Box Turtle. Now, in keeping with our Tarot 101 series, I'm going to talk a little bit about the psychology of the tarot cards. They have a great deal of psychological influence and significance, and the sort of psycho-emotional energy is woven thoroughly through any kind of tarot deck and in a tarot reading. So I find that part particularly fascinating about the tarot cards. So I'm going to have my trusty notes available here so that I don't get off the tracks and we stay on topic here. So as you know, the tarot deck is made up of 22 major arcana, or the trump cards. They have 16 court cards, the kings, the queens, the princes and the princesses, or the knights and the pages, whichever you want to go. And then the 40 pip cards, ace through 10. Now, Carl Jung, one of the forerunners of modern psychology and a colleague of Sigmund Freud's, was very interested in the tarot's trump cards as they represented the archetypes of human existence. Now, what this means is these are the social constructs or concepts that are recognized across time and cultures, meaning the ancient Egyptians or the Neanderthals understood the concept of death and mother and love just as we do today. Even animals understand certain archetypes. Animals understand the concept of death. They understand the concept of mother. So it's a very solid social construct that is across culture, across time, and across species. Now, the court cards are the personalities of the tarot deck. And in the field of psychology, there are 16 distinct personality types. And you may have heard of these personality types through their acronyms, oh, I'm an INFP or something like that. And what that means is that people are considered to be introverted or extroverted. Sometimes they make all their decisions based upon how they feel. Other people make all their decisions based upon what they think and after heavy analysis of a situation. The attributes of each of the 16 court cards of the tarot deck matches one of these 16 psychological personalities, which I find to be very interesting because the tarot cards came first. So therefore, when a court card comes up in a reading, it will indicate the psycho-emotional energy present in the person involved with the people, or involved with my client who's sitting across from me during a reading, or the client itself. Now, it is sort of up to me to determine, are these court cards present here representing my client, or is it maybe a boss, a father-in-law, a boyfriend, a lover of my client? And I can pretty well determine who that is. Don't ask me how I know that, but I just know it's not my client, it's somebody else, and I'll ask, so who is this personality type? So, oftentimes when people come to me for a reading, they are having some questions, some problems, usually with another person, because that's the kind of stuff that upsets us the most, is when we have an interpersonal conflict and we're not sure how to solve it. The fun part is that the tarot cards can help you solve problems with other people because of this psychological underlying energy that sort of points you in the right direction. Because when you have your own psycho-emotional energy combined with someone else's, you put it together, it rules the situation. So if you can understand the psycho-emotional energy, it'll go a long way in helping you solve the problem and solve the situation. Now, I'm going to talk about the court cards individually here, just sort of basically, kings in general, queens in general. And then later on, I'll get into the individual cards, such as the King of Wands versus the King of Cups. So first of all, I want to say that the kings, queens, knights, or princes and princesses, they don't have to follow gender norms. Okay, so kings don't have to be men and queens don't have to be women. It's just a name. It's not a specific gender. So kings always have the element of fire, and they are denoting age and or maturity. They have yang energy, as in action, active, doing energy. They don't sit still. They're not behind the scenes. They're not thinking about it. They're actually doing it. They're associated with authority figures who are domineering or controlling, and they affect the outcome of a situation. For example, your boss or your father. Now, they don't necessarily they delegate. Okay, so they'll be telling people what to do. They oversee the whole project, but because they are the overseers of the project, they're ultimately responsible for it. So the buck stops with them. They like to keep things in balance and order. And of all the court cards, the kings are the most difficult to influence, which also makes them kind of stuck in their ways too. Kings as energy are symbolic of wisdom, accomplishments, and success, and considered to be experts in their field. So when you become an expert in your field, you will have that king energy working for you. They also represent areas in our lives that we can't control, such as death and taxes. That's king energy. They also represent a place in life when we've maxed out in a certain situation. We can't go any higher. There's no place further for us to be promoted or to get better in whatever you're doing. And so then it's time for a lateral move and to try something slightly different so you have more growth potential. Okay. Now, queens in general, as I said, they don't have to be women. Remember that. They represent yin or thinking kind of energy. And they always have the element of water. They also denote age and or maturity. Now, they work behind the scenes. They're not the ones up front doing things. They are working in the back, facilitating. And they offer a guidance, assistance, and advice. But you're going to have to actually do the thing. She'll just sort of advise you on how to do it. Think fairy godmother kind of energy. Now, the queens can be kind of fickle, and they will either like you or not, depending on the weather. So when it's time to meet sort of a queen type personality, meaning the most obvious example is the mother of your girlfriend or boyfriend, you best be on your best behavior, because if she doesn't like you, she's going to make your life really miserable. Now, she is symbolic of wisdom, accomplishments, and success based upon her maturity. She's gotten this far, therefore, she's probably successful at a few things. She validates your hard work that you've put in when she appears. And she represents a time of growth or transformation as you become more mature in your sense of self. Because of her water element, she is linked to dreams and your emotions. And also, she's indicative of caring or nurturing energies, mommy energies. Now, princes, as people in your lives, are considered youthful yang energy. Just as with the kings, again, princes don't have to be men. Their element is of air, and it denotes adulthood for all gender identifications or inexperience for those who identify as male. So now you can have prince energy even though you're an older person if you're inexperienced in something that you're trying, something new. Princes are often headstrong and belligerent. For any of you who have teenagers, I know you feel me here on this one. Prince energy there working for you. They're super willing to take a risk. So it's best to make sure that these personality types are super well focused and have a set goal in mind. They're constantly moving with energy to burn. But they have a strong sense of commitment and to what they have set their minds on. This is what makes them such excellent soldiers, because they're committed to what they do. They can go without sleep for days, and they have a strong sense of honor. As energy speaking, they are symbolic of swift, bold action and incredible focus, as we mentioned before. A decision has been made, and now he's taking the first steps towards making that goal a reality. So now, even if he isn't directly involved in what you're working on personally, I mean, you're not the prince, it's the prince outside of you, he can blow a hole in what you're doing, because his raw energy is like throwing a boulder into a pond. Everybody gets wet. So because they represent very fast, swift-moving energy, if one shows up in a reading, get prepared to move. Okay, the bus is going to leave the station here pretty quick. You better be on it. Okay, they can also represent warnings of some nature. Now, princesses in life, they are also yin energy, much like queens. They don't have to be girls. They're also representing immature energy, young energy. They always have the element of earth and denote children, youth, or more inexperience. A princess type person may appear to be young because they're experiencing something new. So therefore, a 100-year-old person who's going skydiving on their birthday, that's princess energy, okay, because they've never done it before. They're often people who need guidance or play supporting roles in the development of something. Okay, stagehands versus the actor on the stage. They're very willing to learn, and because they've never done something before, they're very enthusiastic and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about something. They haven't gotten jaded yet. Okay, so they're going to be, they're going to show up to work early because they haven't gotten into the grind of the 9 to 5 yet. So now they're not influential like the queens are, but they're master manipulators. So when they want things to go their own way, they will manipulate the things. They'll talk behind backs, and they'll talk dirt. They'll talk, blow smoke up people's skirts. They'll get people to do what she wants them to do. They go through the side door, so to speak, rather than coming in the front door. Now, they are very representative of news or messages, and they also represent being at the very beginning stage of personal growth in a particular thing. Or maybe they've just made the decision to do something, whereas the princes have already made the decision and they're going about doing what they're going to do. The princess is still at the decision-making place. She can also represent curiosity, skepticism, or fear about something. Of course, because she's new at it. She has no experience to rely upon. So she's going to have all that fear of fucking up, don't we all? So anyway, this is what the psychology of the tarot is, in a nutshell. And I'll get to the actual individual court cards at a later date. Thanks for watching. I'm Annette for the Emerald Box Turtle. Bye-bye.